She lashed out at me in front of her friends. You can't even keep me happy, let alone support me. I grinned, settled my portion of the bill, and walked out. Later that night, she showed up at my place in tears, but my new girlfriend answered the door. Hey everyone, just a quick shout out. Over 14% of you are already subscribed, and it means a lot. If you're new here and like these stories, join the crew by hitting that subscribe button. We're aiming for 10,000. Alright, I know this sounds intense, but stick with me. This story is wild. My ex-girlfriend, Natalie, and I were together for about 8 months. I'm 25, she's 24. Things were great at first, but the past few months, she started getting pushy about money and criticizing my lifestyle. I'm a plumber and run my own company. I earn solid money, but Natalie always seemed uneasy when people asked about my job. She's a full-time manager at a high-end boutique downtown, surrounded by luxury all day. We'd been living together in my house, which I own outright, for about 4 months. Lately, though, Natalie kept hinting about moving to a fancier place or a trendier neighborhood. Everyone at work lives in those new downtown lofts, Jake. They're so much nicer than here. Babe, this house is paid off. Why would we rent somewhere else? It's not just about money. It's about status. The trouble escalated when she started hanging out with a new group of girls from her job, all dating guys with corporate gigs. Suddenly, Natalie acted ashamed of being with a plumber. Why can't you have a regular job like everyone else? Natalie, I own my own company. I make more than most. It's not about the money. It's about how it looks. I should have ended it then, but I figured she'd come around. Last Friday, Natalie texted me about going to a fancy new restaurant downtown, the kind where a burger costs $40. I agreed even though it's not my vibe. Awesome. I invited Lauren and Chloe from work, plus their boyfriends. You'll finally meet them. That raised a red flag, but I went along. Saturday night, we met at the restaurant. Lauren and Chloe arrived with their boyfriends, exactly as you'd imagine. Buttoned-up shirts, chatting about their desk jobs and stock portfolios. This is my boyfriend, Ethan, Lauren said. He's in digital advertising. And this is Dylan, Chloe added. He's in corporate accounting. Then came my introduction. This is my boyfriend, Jake, Natalie said, her tone flat. He runs a maintenance business. Maintenance business, not plumbing company. Maintenance business. Dinner was awkward. Ethan and Dylan kept droning on about their careers, asking vague questions about my work. Natalie deflected whenever they got specific. Jake handles upkeep for commercial properties, she said when Dylan pressed. It's technically true, but it made me sound like a handyman instead of a business owner. Halfway through the meal, Ethan started talking about a trip he's planning with Lauren. We're eyeing the Bahamas for a long weekend. All-inclusive resort. That sounds amazing, Natalie said. Jake and I don't do stuff like that. I shot her a puzzled look. We talked about going to Belize. You said to wait until summer. That's different. It's not a real getaway. What makes a getaway real? You know, somewhere upscale, with luxury resorts and top-notch service. Belize has luxury resorts. It's not the same, Jake. Lauren chimed in. Ethan surprised me with the trip for our 6-month anniversary. It's so nice having someone who knows how to treat you. The comment lingered. I saw where this was headed. Must be nice, Natalie said, staring right at me. Chloe piled on. Dylan took me to Sonoma last month. Wine country is so romantic. Way better than hiking or whatever. Exactly, Natalie said. Some guys know how to plan proper dates. Natalie, we've been on plenty of great dates. Like what? That weekend at the cabin? The concert in town? Dinner at Antonio's last month? Those aren't the same. How are they not the same? Because they're not impressive. They're just ordinary. Ethan and Dylan watched like it was a reality show. Lauren and Chloe exchanged glances. Natalie, maybe we should discuss this later. No, let's do it now. I'm tired of acting like everything's fine. What's not fine? Our relationship, Jake. Our future. What's wrong with our future? What future? You're happy just running your little maintenance company forever. It's not a little company. It's thriving. Thriving compared to what? Compared to most businesses. I do well. Define well. I was getting frustrated. I make good money, Natalie. You know this. How good? The table went silent. Everyone stared. Natalie, what do you want me to say? I want you to admit your limits. My limits. Your career limits, Jake. Your ambition limits. I don't have limits. I run a successful business. Natalie glanced at her friends, then back at me. Jake, you can't even keep me happy, let alone support me. The words stung like a punch. Lauren and Chloe gasped. Ethan and Dylan looked uneasy but intrigued. Natalie, what the hell? It's true, Jake. You're not driven. You're not refined. You're just okay with being average. Average? Yes, average. Look at Ethan and Dylan. They have real careers. They get what women want. And what do women want? Success, progress, someone going places. I sat there, absorbing the fact that my girlfriend, who lives in my house, just told strangers I couldn't support her. Then I started chuckling. What's so funny? Natalie asked. You think Ethan and Dylan are more successful than me? They have real careers, Jake. Ethan, you're in digital advertising, right? Yeah. Why? Mind if I ask your yearly income? Jake, don't, Natalie warned. I make about $70,000, Ethan said. Nice. Dylan, you? Around $85,000. Cool. So, Natalie, since you think I can't support you, want to know what I made last year? Jake, stop. $160,000. The table went quiet. That's not possible, Chloe said. It is. Plumbing is lucrative. Emergency repairs, commercial contracts, new builds. I'm booked months in advance. Lauren looked stunned. You make twice what Ethan does. Yeah. But apparently that's not enough because it's not classy enough. Natalie's face turned scarlet. Money isn't everything, she muttered. You just said I can't support you. Sounded like money mattered a minute ago. It's not about money. It's about perception. Perception? Yes, perception. What am I supposed to say when people ask what my boyfriend does? You say your boyfriend owns a successful plumbing company and earns 6 figures. It's not the same. You're right. It's better because it's actual success, not just a shiny title. I flagged down the waiter. Can I get the check? Jake, what are you doing? Paying for my meal and leaving. You can't just leave. Watch me. The waiter brought the bill, $150 for 6 people. I figured my share, 2 drinks and the chicken, about $35 with tip. Jake, you always cover our dates, Natalie said softly. You just said I can't support you. Guess I'll stop trying. I dropped $40 on the table and stood. Thanks for dinner, everyone. Good luck with the rest of the bill. Jake, sit down. Don't make a scene. I'm not making a scene. I'm leaving. You and your classy friends can handle the rest. I left the restaurant feeling like I'd escaped a trap. At home, I sat on my couch, replaying the night. Natalie had been living in my paid-off house, eating food I bought, sleeping in my bed, and just told people I couldn't provide for her. My phone buzzed around 11 p.m. texts from Natalie. Jake, I'm sorry. I didn't mean it. Lauren had to cover my share of the bill. Can you Venmo me? Please answer. I'm getting an Uber home. We need to talk. I ignored them. She got home around midnight and tried talking, but I locked myself in my bedroom. Sunday morning, she was gone, leaving a note saying she'd stay at Lauren's for a few days while I calmed down. Sunday afternoon, I was at the hardware store buying supplies when I bumped into Sarah, an old high school friend. We'd lost touch after graduation. Jake. Oh my gosh. How are you? Sarah, hey. I'm good. You? Just moved back to town. I'm a nurse at the hospital. We chatted for an hour in the parking lot, catching up. Sarah was sharp, funny, and grounded. Nothing like Natalie. We should get coffee sometime, she said. I'd like that. We swapped numbers and planned to meet Tuesday. Monday, Natalie stopped by while I was at work and grabbed more of her stuff. She left another note saying she needed time to figure things out. Tuesday, I met Sarah for coffee. We talked for 3 hours about life, work, and dreams. She was impressed by my business. That's incredible, Jake. Starting your own company takes serious courage. Thanks. It's been good to me. I bet. Plus, you're helping people. When my sink backed up last year, I'd have paid anything for a quick fix. A stark contrast to Natalie's attitude. Wednesday, Sarah came over for dinner. I made tacos and we watched a movie. She loved my house. Jake, this place is awesome. You own it outright. Yeah. Bought it 3 years ago. That's unreal. Most people our age are stuck renting. Perk of starting a business young. Thursday, Natalie texted asking to meet and talk. I didn't reply. Friday, she called my mom. They'd met a few times while we were dating, so Natalie had her number. My mom called me later, laughing. Jake, some girl called me crying, saying she messed up and wants you back. What did you tell her? I said if she's foolish enough to be embarrassed by a guy who owns his own house and business, she deserves what she got. Mom, you didn't. Oh, I did. Then I told her you were raised better than to chase someone who doesn't value you. Saturday night, Sarah and I went to a nice restaurant for a real date. She looked stunning, and the conversation flowed effortlessly. No complaints about money or status. Jake, can I ask something? Sure. What happened with your last relationship? You mentioned it ended recently. She was ashamed of my job, thought a plumber wasn't good enough. That's insane. You're successful and hardworking. What else could someone want? Apparently a desk job with a fancy title. Her loss. When I dropped Sarah off, she kissed me goodnight. It was the first time in months I felt genuinely excited about someone. The next Friday, a week after the restaurant fiasco, I was tinkering in my garage when the doorbell rang. I thought it was Sarah since we had movie plans. I opened the door to find Natalie, crying with 2 suitcases. Jake, thank God you're here. I've been thinking all week, and I know I can fix this. Natalie, what are you doing? I'm here to apologize and move back in. I was so wrong. You can't just move back in. Jake, please hear me out. I talked to Lauren and Chloe, and they said I was crazy for what I said. So your friends had to tell you you were wrong? That's not the point. That's exactly the point. Before I could say more, another car pulled into my driveway. Sarah stepped out with takeout bags and a bottle of wine. Natalie turned and saw her. Who's that? That's Sarah. Sarah who? My girlfriend. Natalie's face paled. Your girlfriend? Yeah, we've been seeing each other. For how long? About a week. Sarah reached the door, looking puzzled by the crying woman on my doorstep. Hey babe, she said, giving me a quick kiss. I brought Chinese. Everything okay? Everything's fine. Natalie was just leaving. I'm not leaving, Natalie said. Jake, we live together. You moved out, remember? You needed time to think. I didn't mean permanently. You packed your stuff and left. That's moving out. Sarah stepped forward. Hi, I'm Sarah. I don't think we've met. I'm Natalie, Jake's girlfriend. Ex-girlfriend, I corrected. Jake, tell her we're working things out. We're not working anything out, Natalie. I'm not leaving until we fix this. There's nothing to fix. You showed me who you really are. Sarah looked between us, then at me. Jake, should I come back later? No, stay. Natalie needs to go. This is ridiculous. You're already replacing me? I'm not replacing anyone. I'm moving on with someone who respects my work. Jake, I respect you. You respect me now that your friends know I make more than their boyfriends. That's not true. That's exactly true. Natalie stood there, crying with her suitcases, for another minute before loading them back into her car and driving off. Sarah and I went inside, and she asked what happened. I told her the whole story. Her response was perfect. Jake, she sounds terrible. Who says that about someone they claim to love? Someone who cares more about appearances than reality. Well, I think what you do is impressive. You built something from scratch. That was 6 weeks ago. Sarah and I are official now, and things are great. She's proud to tell people I own my business and never makes me feel like I need to justify my success. Natalie tried calling a few more times, but I blocked her. Lauren texted once, saying most people at their work thought Natalie was out of line at dinner. Last week, I ran into Ethan at the gas station. He seemed awkward but approached me. Jake, hey, about that dinner? It's cool. No, I feel bad. Natalie was harsh. And honestly, I was impressed when you shared what you make. Thanks. For what it's worth, she's been pretty down since you split. Keeps asking Lauren about you. That's too bad. She moved back in with her parents. Couldn't afford a place on her own without your help. So Natalie went from living in my paid-off house to her parents' place. Funny how that worked out. This whole thing showed me some people value image over substance. Natalie wanted a boyfriend who looked good on paper, even if he couldn't match what I provide. She got so obsessed with her coworkers' opinions that she traded financial stability for social clout. Now she's back at her parents while I'm with someone who values what I've built. Sometimes the best revenge is letting people deal with the fallout of their own decisions.